All right, here we go. Okay. So,
Perfect.
I have with me today Brian Perkins, and he's going to give us some information about what he does at Loewe. Hi, Brian. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hope you guys
Okay.
having a great day.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with Loewe, and am I pronouncing the word properly?
So everyone says Loey or Low or have their own little way of saying it. The brand is a Spanish brand, but a German name, so
Mm-hmm.
it's pronounced Loewe.
Oh, okay.
So Loewe. Um, Usually I tell people like Love Way, and they can say it like Love Ways together, Loewe. So Loewe is how we pronounce the name of the brand.
Okay.
A little bit about myself is I'm a 25-year-old client advisor slash seamstress tailor. I've been working in retail for 5 years now as a sales professional, grossing over a million plus in each company that I've worked with in sales, with an extensive client book with over 100K, with over 1,000 clients. I specialize in the men's department and customer service with great NPS feedback, as well as achieving a couple Yelp reviews. As of now, I have been with Loewe for a year now as a client advisor, and swiftly from being on the sales floor, expressing my skills, I was able to pick up a few more tasks that led to visual merchandising.
Nice. So sounds like you've accomplished a lot in just a short period of time. That's really impressive. My fellow students
Hmm.
will be curious to know at the end, what advice you would give them, but we'll get to that
Uh-huh.
point a little bit later. So how did your experience
Of
in
course.
fashion lead you to your visual merchandising or just being at Loewe in general?
So, as a self-taught entrepreneur and fashion designer, my eye for design is very unique and driven towards a more avant-garde, creative type of style, which most businesses don't really have that eye for because they focus more on numbers than creativity. So with me having my own sort of creative side and creative mind, I was able to use that expression and kind of add some color to the store. So with that being said, I'm able to match different color palettes and textures while keeping a cohesive flow and using the brand's direction and brand's DNA to grow the business.
Nice, nice. Wow. Um, like, do you use a team when you're creating your displays?
Um, We do work as a team and collectively upkeep the store, which takes the load off of like the cleanliness of the store. Most style and directional teamwork comes from our corporate team, pointing us in the right direction as well as teaching us the brand knowledge for upcoming collections and themes.
Okay. I know when I worked at Joann's, we used to have what's called a planogram. And so with a planogram, it would just be like a floor plan of how they want each section of the store set up. So do you guys work kind of off of that kind of flow?
100%, yeah. So they'll give us like a a theme, so it'll be like either butterflies and this is the set colors that we'll have. So we'll have to kind of make the store evolve around butterflies and evolve
Okay.
around nature and things of that nature and things of that way. They'll give us things as far as display little figurines or knickknacks so that we can keep everything in the same theme and just kind of create a whole new experience for the client.
Okay. Yeah, we were similar. We were seasonal though. We based all of our planograms by the summer, not 4 seasons, but by holidays, by Easter, Valentine's Day, Christmas, and so everything was set up accordingly. And like you guys, I was a soft line specialist, so for me, I was solely responsible for all of the fabric being displayed for those holidays, and something on top of it to show that this was that holiday and this is what we're pushing, for this season. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if all the stores do the same thing.
Joanne's one of my favorite stores.
Yeah, it's gone. What
I'm
a
sad
travesty.
that Joanne is no longer with us, but But
Yeah.
Joann's where I started from. I used to do all my sourcing, all my stuff. Started at Joann's, and until I was able to get introduced to the LA fashion district and get things a little more cheaper over there.
Yeah.
But Joann's definitely was my starting point,
Yeah. That was always my
finding
go-to.
finding
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Okay, so how's your position at Loewe inspired you in your own work as a designer?
My
And
position
wait,
at Loewe has really
let me ask
sharpened
one
my.
let me ask you one more
Yes,
question just to tag on to that because I know
of course.
when I say
Yes.
inspired you to do your own work as a designer, I see you already out there, designing for celebrities. So how did, that tie in,
Mhm.
how did it all happen so fast for you? I guess that's what I want to say. Yeah.
Um, Social media is definitely a um a big aspect in that. It's helped me connect with people that I've never thought I'd be able to connect with, and they're able to see my work in the public view where they can kind of go back in the history of what I've done, see what I've made, and just kind of express to me what they were like, and then you get a hold of the right community where their stylists is or their team will reach out to you and say, "Hey, our guy really loves your product. What can we do to get him in some of your stuff?" And then at that point, I'll just say, "Just what's the measurements?"
Yeah.
And what is he really looking for? And then once he gives me like what he's looking for and the measurements, most NBA athletes they can't shop in the regular stores. They're 7 foot tall, so they
Yeah.
can't buy jeans that fit them the right way. So when they see these brands that can make things by hand and kind of do things differently, they really, really want to work with and connect with you because they know that they can actually it makes the stylist look better because they're able to actually have a garment that fits the client.
Yeah.
So I go and talk to the stylist and tell them, hey, I can make these pants for your 7 foot guy, and then they pay for it, and I end up making the pants. And usually, how it first started, it wasn't more so I was getting compensated for it. It was more so, okay, we will put it on the player, and you will get paid through us showing it to the world. You know what I mean? You will get
Yeah.
paid by people seeing your work and just being able to put it on a higher platform than what you're already on. And that was as me being a small business, that's okay with me too. I'm fully okay with them spreading the word about my business and doing
Yeah.
things like that. So it was it wasn't really something that I had to force or really kind of ask. It was something that kind of came to me being 6'6" myself, and them knowing I'm a tall guy, and if
Yeah.
I'm a tall guy, then I gotta be able to know how to make something for tall people.
Yeah.
So that was a big help, me being tall
Yeah. I
and working with
understand.
myself, honestly.
Yeah. Actually, that's how I started sewing too. I was so tall I couldn't fit anything in the store. And so if I wanted to wear pants, I had to make my own
Hmm.
pants. And so yeah, that's kind of how one of my desires to sew became about. But good. That wow, sounds good. Sounds familiar.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Exactly.
it's definitely paid off for you because I've seen your work. I've seen your social media. I mean, your stuff looks so nice. It's just like retail ready, high-end retail ready. And I think that you're having a big impact on the industry in general because, like you said, you're sewing for these 7 foot guys, and these guys are walking in your stuff and it looks great, like it was tailor-made for them. I heard you in one of your interviews during the All-Star weekend telling the interviewer that you actually stayed up all night and worked on that particular outfit and it fit him like a glove and you had no regrets.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, it's things like that
Hmm.
that make or break and take you to the next level. And I'm really glad that you're making it happen. You've got so much ahead of you and so much to do. And you're doing it all well. You're falling right in line with everything. I'm so proud of you. I really am.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. I
okay.
really appreciate that.
So as what are your responsibilities as an expert client advisor at Loewe?
So my responsibilities as an expert client advisor is to offer the best customer service to all clients. You never know who's going to walk into the store, so greeting the clients and treating them as a potential VIC client, which is the highest tier client that you possibly can get in the store. You
Hmm.
want to treat everybody like they're $1 million and make sure they get the best service so that they can always come back and be comfortable shopping with us in the future. And we kind of have a few things that we implement to the client as far as our 10 essential behaviors. So we start with hosting the client, giving them beverages, kind of getting the client comfortable in the store, giving them a
Nice.
tour, and then we engage with curiosity. We ask them questions, what brought them to the store, why are they shopping with us, what are they interested in, and then once we find these things, we're able to align with the client and actually propose and invite them to try on things that we have in the store. So it's more so learning the client, making them comfortable, and then treating them as if they spent the most money with us, even though they never walked into our store before. So
Wow.
once you do those things, I feel like you really can dial in a client. They'll memorize you as well because they'll be like, hey, this guy, he really gave me a tour. He really showed me around. And you kind of create that one-on-one experience with the client to help them always come back and remember your name.
Yeah.
And then once they do buy something, then you got to stay in touch with them, continue to reach out, continue to offer, hey, this is not out yet. Let me show you what it is.
Yeah.
And then kind of make them feel more special. And that's how you kind of pertain and keep a client for a long time.
And what's your customer return rate?
As of yet, God bless, we have not had any returns so far.
Good,
So
good.
no one. We actually are a final sales store,
Mhm.
so we have to sell the client on the product while they're there. So I've obviously have clients turn down things, but since we're a final sales store, they don't even have the opportunity to
Yeah.
return. Thank
Yeah.
God.
That's
So
good. Yeah.
it really goes into how we present to the client, and that's how they buy from us.
Yeah, I guess it would be. It's all about great customer service because if it's a final sale type situation, they know going in there that whatever I get, I'm not going to be able to return it, but I would like to return it, come back and buy more things in the future. So how many of your customers come
Exactly.
back, or return shoppers?
Um, Quite a few. Honestly, I would say out of 10, I would say about 4 out of 10 clients come back.
Oh, that's a good
And
number. Yeah.
usually the yeah, usually the 4 out of 10 will be my high ticket clients where they buy handbags or they'll buy nice jackets, shoes, things of that nature, and they really become a fan of the brand, which is why they continue to come back with us and shop more. But as well as me being that person that's the connection to the brand, we build a connection, we build a relationship together so that we can always stay in touch and they
Yeah.
can feel comfortable with me helping them out.
Okay. Uh, So how have your skills as a designer contributed you to your second position as being a client expert tailorer?
My skills as a designer gave me a foundation and a platform to essentially treat my job as an entrepreneurship itself and allow me to think of it as the business as my own. And if I was to um, use the entrepreneurship mindset, because it's basically selling clothes, and that's essentially what I do myself is sell clothes.
Right.
So by me already having those skills and already knowing like tailoring stuff and how a suit fits, how shoes are supposed to fit, and how um, what trends are new and look good on clients. By me
Mm,
having these skills already and having a platform, it even makes the client even more comfortable because now I have knowledge. Now I have now when I give them something to try on, they're like, "Hey, I never thought this would look good on me," and it looks good
right.
on them, and then they end up buying it, and then now they love you even more because now you introduced them to a whole new category of stuff that they never even tried before.
Nice.
So it's all about really impressing the client and then using my business model to kind of help me grow more.
Okay. How do you build trust with your high net worth clients?
I build trust with my my high clients by sort of giving them little incentives and gifts. So when they buy from us, they spend a couple $1,000. They might get a nice candle, or they might get you know, some coasters, a nice flower vase, and we kind of tell them like, hey, the more you shop with us, the more these gifts get better and better.
Nice.
And a lot of companies don't really offer things of that nature, so when they know okay they can get something back from it, and they kind of want to invest even more because maybe this vase might not be available and they could sell this vase later down the line
Yeah.
for a lot of money because it's an investment that they chose to invest in.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's a lot easier when we have incentives and things that we can actually give back to the client.
Yeah.
But trust is always built upon hospitality.
Yeah. True. Very true. Yeah. Customer service. Yeah.
Mhm.
So are incentives often like is that normal? That's part of the Loewe philosophy?
It is. I would say it is quite normal. Um, if you just become a client with us, we give you a little fanzine, a little magazine that
Nice.
kind of gives you like what we just recently put out. You can kind of put it on our coffee table. It looks nice. Um, Sometimes they have little things inside that they can use and interact with. So you automatically kind of get a gift, even though you just like bought something that's really inexpensive or you just signed up with us. So we always kind of give back to the client no matter what.
Okay. What's next for you in the fashion industry?
Next for me in the fashion industry is learning more of the statistical and business side of the fashion side, the more business side of the fashion to grow in my company, focusing on growing sales and creating experiences for people, opening up a store possibly in the future where people can actually shop in person, as well as being a client advisor, hopefully being able to be promoted to maybe a store director or assistant store director where I can actually use my skills and teach the next person how to
Yeah.
be a great successful client advisor. So I
Okay.
would say just kind of moving on up the next step.
And so tell me about a time you exceeded your client's expectation and then what was the impact of it?
A grand time I've exceeded the client's expectations was when we had a new prospect come into store. She woke up not knowing we existed, not knowing that our store was even here. I gave her a tour. I offered her beverages. I made her comfortable. I learned about her, taught her the history of our brand, I taught her the brand knowledge and how our stuff is made in Spain and how it's organic tanneries and how we offer a 2-year warranty and things of that nature. And this client was so sold and so attached that she ended up buying a handbag
Oh,
the first
nice.
time ever walking into the store. And and with her buying a handbag, we were able to stay in touch. And she became a client that would buy high ticket items with me because she
Nice.
had that trust with me actually giving her the knowledge. She knows that she bought a quality product and she knows that we'll take care of her every single time she comes back to
Nice.
the store.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that was a time, most definitely. And
And
I
has
really
she
appreciate that
returned?
client.
Has she
She
returned?
has returned a
Okay.
couple of times.
Okay.
She
Nice.
has a couple of times. Yeah. She's bought more items with us. I believe she bought another bag as well. So as I said, you never know who's gonna walk in the door, and you never know what they want. So when you treat them as if they're $1 million, they definitely will. You get that one person who is $1 million that's gonna come back and give you everything they have. So
Yeah. Okay. Now, my last question, I didn't really advise you on it in advance, but I would just like to
mhm,
say, since this is a school project, what advice would you
of
give
course,
to my fellow students who are preparing to go into the fashion industry?
advice I would say be coachable. It's a learning experience. I know fashion is a very fast and very you have to be on calendar, you have to know this and that, you have to stay on top of trends. fashion is all about being yourself at the end of the day. It's all about selling the person on what you like and what you think. Because we already have so many different categories, we already have so many different collections and designers. We all have our own perspective, our own vision. So as long as you can align with your own vision, then you can present that vision to the world, and the world can stay. The world can actually be sold on you because now you created a new lane for yourself that you're allowed to build across of. If I do this one lane, I have to kind of stick with the book and learn this lane to a top tier position. But when you actually kind of
Hmm.